So, thank you for the time. Thank you for the energy.
It's good to be here.
We're really pleased to have you in Paris and for our webzine, Art and World.
It's good to be here, thank you.
So, a map of all our failures. Can you present the album? Can you present us generally?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a good evolution from the previous album, Full Eyes Isaiah, which was the previous studio album, full studio album, which was 3 years ago now. It's a long gap between albums. But it's a long enough gap to have progressed more. In 3 years, we've obviously aged 3 years, and I think become wiser, become better musicians, better songwriters, and I think that's reflected in the music. We haven't lost sight of our roots. You can tell this is My Dying Bride, but we've still got enough good ideas to keep it interesting for people. It sounds a bit lame to say that some of the ideas on this album are similar to ideas we've done in the past, but we've developed them further and we've executed the music much better. The guitarists are much better guitarists. I would like to think I'm a better vocalist than I was 3 years ago. So everything you liked on previous releases, in theory, you should like on this. It's filled with the doom and the misery people want from My Dying Bride. The melancholy is there tenfold, and that's what people want, and we're happy to deliver that.
That's great. I'm gonna get back to the question of doom and misery, but before I would like to ask you, how do you place that album in the artistic chronology of My Dying Bride? How do you consider this album to come in its way?
Well, I mean, it just naturally seems like the latest and the best. Everybody says their new album is the best, because when you record it, that's the best you can do at that exact moment in time.
Right.
And in theory, the more you do something, the better at it you should become. So with that mathematic thinking, this should be the greatest thing we've ever done. And it certainly feels along those lines at the moment. So if you're looking at a line of our history, this stands above everything else. I know people think Turn Loose the Swans is a classic album from a long time ago, and it is, and we love it. But this is something special as well, and I think time will prove that this is classic.
Right, okay. So you were saying that the album before the last one was it was a little bit more accessible to us. The last one, A Map of All of Our Fears, is even more, it's darker and into the gloominess. Why is it so pessimistic?
A very pessimistic band in general, I mean, you know.
It is, but this is the most.
Oh yes, I don't know. For me personally, I feel that this album is more extreme in that sense. The doom bits are much slower. The brutal parts are much more brutal than they were before. The sadness is more sad. There's more misery. It's just something that's naturally progressed along. I mean, we wanted to do something slightly more extreme in that sense. We wanted this to be absolutely soul crushing, as opposed to it being. I mean, it's still tragic and woeful, but the main crux of it was for it to just be crushing, and I think we've quite successfully achieved that.
This is what you were looking to achieve with this album.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. If you want,
absolutely not.
If you want regular metal, there's a million regular metal bands out there.
Absolutely.
If you want pop, it's all there. If bizarrely you want jazz, even that's there. If you want doom and gloom and misery, you know where to come.
That is it. Right. So we say that doom is back on track, and A Map of All Our Fears is cold. Is it your way of being different, or is it the English blood making it different?
I'm not deliberately trying to be different. I mean, our music is kind of crossover anyway. You're mixing death with doom, which are polar opposites. And then you've got some aspects of gothic music in there as well. So there's quite a mix, there's quite a lot of sources for us to pull from. Throughout our writing process. it's never intentional to deliberately be different to other doom death metal bands. It's just the way that it is, and I don't doubt that our environment in the north of Yorkshire helped to cultivate that. I mean, along with Anathema and Paradise Lost, who often, the north of England, it can't be a coincidence, that we all started doing the same thing at roughly the same time.
Yeah, it's been a long time that we know each other. We grew up together.
Yeah.
We've been kids together.
Well, not quite. We don't quite go back that far, but far enough. But it's great to see those guys doing different and interesting stuff as well. It takes guts to do something completely different to what people know you most famous for. So good luck to them. But we felt that what we do, this is what we do best, and we know how to do it, so we're going to stick to it. Which some people might think is a bit narrow-minded, but if you're good at something, specialise in it, become the best at it. I'd like to think that perhaps we've achieved that.
You achieved it from a fan. I can say yes.
Well,
Every time we are really enchanted of having a new album of My Dying Bride. It's
good. Thank you very much. I'm glad we've still got it.
Well, it's been 25 years nearly. How do you appreciate your music, and how have you evolved with it?
Well, we've definitely evolved. I mean, every album, it has to sound different. I mean, you can't have a whole back catalogue of albums which are identical, because that would interest nobody.
Absolutely.
We like to experiment a lot as well, such as with Avinta, which was a one-off project. I mean, it's possible we could do another one, in 10 years' time, for example, when we've got, more albums behind us, and the Bagger to Whitby, that was obviously quite experimental in that, it's a 27-minute long song on an EP. Yeah. So again, that's very experimental. That's kind of, I think, what keeps us interesting to a lot of the listeners, because you don't quite know what's coming next. And the studio albums will always be solid, and they will always be straightforward Death Doom studio albums, but the EPs where we can get a bit more experimental, we can try things, get them out of our system, if you like. There will be in the springtime next year an EP coming out, because when we recorded 13 songs, but there's only 9 songs on the special edition, so there will be 4 new tracks which were recorded at the same time as the album. And when we were doing the track listings, I mean, any of those songs could have appeared on the album, because they're all of the very similar kind of feel, because there was so much material. We're holding that back for an EP next year.
Nice, right. So, in the band, there's 3 different generations.
Could be.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that, and how do you agree on the whole process of creation of the album? How did you all get on the same wavelength?
Well, age doesn't make any difference. The reason people are in My Dying Bride is because they have a certain quality which we think we can develop further even. Lena's coming out of her shell a lot more now than she has, and there's a lot of Lena on the new album. Sean is still experimenting a little bit. He's just testing the water, I think. He's done some great violin work for us, but he's got more to give you. He's a young lad, and I think he's just holding back a little bit, just because you don't join a band like ours and start saying, okay, I'm going to change all this shit. So he's got some good ideas, but I think he's got better ideas as well yet. So it's just nice to have input from everybody. It doesn't matter how old or what sex you are. You're in the band because you've auditioned like everybody else, and you were the most appropriate person at that time, and the person who we could see could develop further and input. So we're expecting more from Sean in the next few years, and that will change the style of My Dying Bride slightly as well. With each album, as people come and go in the history of the band, the sound just changes ever so slightly. We're still on track, but it just wavers ever so slightly and gives it a little nuance of difference to the previous one. And I'm sure this album sounds different to the rest, partly because of what Sean and Lena have brought to it.
So, I heard where you say that the members of My Dying Bride should be devoted, and Hamish left recently. How is it the end of despotism?
Hamish is having fun doing the Valenfire thing. He hasn't left My Dying Bride, and sometimes if you've got things to do which need to be done, which aren't My Dying Bride, then just go and do them.
Right.
Otherwise, he would be trying to get too many death metal riffs into My Dying Bride. He's a great guitar player, so they'd be good anyway.
Yeah.
But it means he can go and do the crazy shit with Val and Fire, and it leaves him doing the doomy stuff with us, and that's fine. Lena's in another band as well, and playing guitar, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. That's what they want to do. That stuff is unrelated to My Dying Bride, so it's fine. I couldn't imagine someone leaving My Dying Bride to do a doom project, because it's the same sort of thing. So if you've got something else to do, go and do it, get it out of your system, enjoy, and then come back.
Right, very nice. So Lena, it's been 5 years now. You're with boys. Do they let you have your word? How do you feel about it?
Absolutely, yeah. When I first joined, I was very actively encouraged to be a bigger part of the band. It's a very open writing atmosphere. Anyone who has an idea, just say it. You're in the band. It's your band too. I mean, it goes without saying that Aaron and Andrew, being the original members, there's nothing but respect for those guys, and kind of they do have the final word on most things. But they're very open. Anything I've got to bring to the band, and anybody else, it's like, just say it. Right. Even down to the arrangement of the songs. If example, if I thought this drum bit is good, but it would need to do this instead, it's like, just say it. It's the band. It's not individuals. You don't write a song and say, I've written a song and this isn't going to change. That just wouldn't work, it'd be laughed at. So it's a very open atmosphere. I've got no problem saying what I think about anything.
And about this album, were you able to apply yourself in the creation?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we all write our own lines anyway. I mean, even from the beginning, I wasn't necessarily pushing my ideas forward, but I would just listen to what the guitar said, and then I would write my bass lines to it. But this time around, I feel more confident, and I can bring my own ideas to say, okay, well, how about we try something like this?
Nice. What was the main inspiration for this album?
There isn't one specific main inspiration. Inspiration comes from anywhere, from all kinds of genres, if you like. From lyrically, inspiration can come from music, movies, books, just absolutely anywhere.
Is there one reference that you can pinpoint on?
To be honest, no, I don't think there is. In the early days, I would read lots of old English poetry, and that was clearly influential on what I was doing back then. But I felt that my style was too reflective of that, and I didn't actually have a style because I was copying other people's styles. So over the years, I've left the old style poetry behind, and I read anything now, and just wait to be inspired, because I don't want to copy other people. I want to find and develop my own style. And so all I do is, I watch a lot of movies, I read a lot, and within those things, ideas just plant themselves at the back of your mind, which you don't know about until you come to creating something new. And as you're creating it, these things make themselves known. And you're not necessarily aware of where they originated. And you can take this idea, which may have started from a film you watched 6 years ago. It's always been there, waiting for the moment to come out, and then when it comes out, you can't copy someone's idea. Yeah. It's a seed, and you plant it, and it becomes a My Dying Bride entity, which is completely different from the origination. So inspiration comes from absolutely anywhere. You would have to ask the musicians where the inspiration for the music comes from. But for me, lyrically, absolutely anywhere. No specific subject.
That's nice. So you're coming to Paris for a tour. It's been a long time. And only Paris, so are you expecting to reconquer? It's been a long time, so we wanted to know if you want to reconquer us, if you had any good memories from France.
Oh yeah, the French have backed My Dying Bride from the demo tape that long ago. Before the internet even, the French have supported My Dying Bride for ages. But there's always a funny relationship between the French and the English, but I think when it comes to our particular style of music, the French people love it, and it's just amazing. So we will repay them all the time by trying to perform here and give them what they've paid for. They've bought our records, and you have to give that back to them in a live performance. And it's been a while. France is not that far away from England. I'm surprised we don't play it more, but then we don't play that many live shows anyway. I think the whole of last year we played 8 shows or something. That's nothing. But they're special because because there's so few of them, they become very special. Bands who play 100 shows a year, they look like they've played 100 shows a year. They're tired and they're slow and they don't care which audience it is. They will say, hello, Paris, and they're in Madrid. You know, you've all seen people making mistakes like that. You won't see that from us. We know where we're going, and we're going to do our very best for those people.
So we respect the fact that it's not your cup of tea of being in front of the public. How would you like us to be? On which wavelength would you like us to be in your show, if you had the choice to decide?
I don't know the wavelength, but you're already there because of what we do. I mean, I'm on a different wavelength completely, but you don't want to be. No, you don't, because it's.
We want to share that. It's
if you were really on my wavelength during a show, if you survived till the end, you would crawl out of the venue, because after the show, I am mentally and physically exhausted, and I'm just a wreck. These guys are all high-fiving. Yeah, the fucking show was amazing, brilliant. I'm just sitting in a corner, trying to come back down to earth because I've been on a different plane, and it's hard because when I'm performing, the words I am singing are the lyrics that I've written, and when I wrote those lyrics, I was in a particularly emotional state. That then is born again in me on stage. That's why I hate doing it. It's hard work. I don't want to be sad and miserable on stage. I want to rock. I want to enjoy it, and I can't. I just cannot enjoy it. I have to live the characters in the songs, and the characters in most of the songs are having a particularly sorrowful time, and then so am I. So my eyes are closed through most of the show. I'm in a dream world, and I don't know what's going on. There could be 10 people in the crowd, there could be 10,000. It makes no difference to me. It could be a festival, it could be a small club. Doesn't make any difference to me. I'm not seeing them anyway. I'm aware they're there, but I'm not seeing them. And you will very, very rarely see me talk to the audience in between songs, because I'm coming down from one song and preparing for the next song. I'm not going to tell jokes. You know, it's not my... I couldn't tell a joke even if I tried. If someone wrote it down on a piece of paper and put it on my speaker, I wouldn't even be able to read it.
I don't think we're expecting jokes from you.
No, that's good.
I think we just want to... I think we really want to really share and be in the same... bubble as you are.
But it's hard work.
This is personal, so
it's hard work, because you could, if you wanted to do that, you would stand there and you would think of all the most depressing things that have ever happened to you in your life, then magnify them.
That's beautiful.
You don't want to stand there and everyone else is having a great time and you are just... I don't enjoy it, and I'm glad we don't play many shows because I couldn't survive a long tour.